You've been an inspiration to a lot of people in the creative industry, and you have, I do not know, I think you do not even know that how much impact you've made to a lot of people in this creative industry, in the art field, in your craft. You've put in more than, I think, 20 years. You have received awards from the global stage, and now just yesterday also another award. So does this thing that you have about creativity, and did it start very early on?
I think I can't say it started like as a child. I don't have any memory of that. But as a child, I do remember, like in my, let's say, early teenage years, I really liked making things, like producing, to be productive somehow with my hands, or with, not only with like writing or, you know, like how in school we have to do so much writing and all. It was to do something bigger. So I remember in school, like a friend reminded me, actually I forgot, we used to just, like on the weekends, we'd be bored, so we'd make up plays. You know, we'd like write a play there and then choose the actors, then I would direct it, then we'd call all the other students to watch.
What age was that?
Yeah, I was like 5th, 6th grade, we were doing this. Then we'd call everyone to come watch, we'd do a little setup, and then we'd like just put that on for the other students. So I think from then already I had this joy in, you know, creating something for of expression, like you know, a story to be told, to also to have this thing, joy to connect with audiences, you know, to make something that there can be sort of this cycle of audience and process and making. And so I think from it started there, but it wasn't very defined at that time as like, oh, I want to do film.
Okay.
You know, it was, I just enjoyed these things. And then I think only later, because we didn't have film here at that time in Bhutan, no, when I was growing up. So it didn't even cross my mind that, oh, we can do film in Bhutan. So, but when I started college also, there was still, I think we had just started 1989, our first film. Then we didn't have TV also till 1989. So at that time, when I was starting college, that was the time TV and internet were coming. I didn't even think, okay, I can do film. So I studied something else, and then only after I was graduating, then some films had started coming out in Bhutan. Then it started to click in me, oh, there is, you know, opportunity to work in film in Bhutan. So then only I sort of set it more as a pursuit that I want to, you know, get into filmmaking.
I myself also remember as children, there is this innate, but not innate, but natural way of like doing role playing.
Yeah.
No, we land up like just while we're playing, we just take up somebody's role, or a policeman, or
I was reminded of that with my daughter, actually, because
we
like,
keep doing that.
She's at this age where she used to be at this age where she'd be like, okay, now you be this person, I'll be this person, and we'll have to pretend you're doing this and that. So it's basically she's writing a script, like for us to do, no? And so it's this, like you said, innate, I guess, in us to tell these stories through role playing and creation, no, of something else.
But yours, you do seem to be like you have been able to like create a play even amongst your friends, and then have an audience, right? And that's not like everybody does does
Yeah.
like
But this was very small scale. There was
Yeah.
it was like in one day we did it.
So why
and
I'm
we
getting
used the props that were in the room.
yeah, why I'm
only
getting
and-
to that is also because your family also would you attribute it to just being familiar with without having to really pinpoint it as art or creativity, but you were somehow surrounded with rich culture, that family, the family conversations that happen. I think I feel it was rich. And
Yeah, I
would
think
you, would you
partially it'll
attribute?
be that, of course, like a lot I would attribute to my mother being a storyteller and just her way of talking, her way of being, you know, she's always weaving stories into even conversations. And so it's not like she was sitting down and saying, okay, I'll tell you a story. It's just the way her presence, her character is to weave stories into dialogue, into like, you know, something will happen and she'll be like, oh, that's just like how it happened with Tojipamo's time, you know, when the Mongolians came, and then I'll be like, what happened? You know,
That
she's talking about something,
imagination,
yeah,
different
she's talking
worlds,
about something
yes.
contemporary and comparing it to like this old Namtar or something. So that way she really put that thing of storytelling in us, I think. I think also I would have to say, I don't know, I guess some parts can be inherent or, you know, just that's the way. But I think also my parents were quite strict with us. So we didn't have TV.
Yeah.
We were
And
allowed,
reading
like,
habit, I think.
yeah, and then
The reading.
so we would really read or invent things like games and all. I mean, we were allowed TV, but just very little. Like in one day, we could watch 1 hour total during the holidays. So then there was 3 of us. So we always had to also decide what that 1 hour would be. You know, like to watch collectively. So there was a lot of ways that we had to. We were forced to. How do you say, imagine something beyond.
Imaginations, yes.
Yeah, so we'd create games. I remember with my brother bringing all sorts of things together to make up a board game. And then, like you said, the reading was really important. I think that was a big influence from my parents. Like, it's not that they also told us to read. It's just that they were always reading. There was always books around the house. So it was just, it was like a
That
natural
environment,
thing. Yeah,
the
it was a
environment that
natural
was
thing
created.
to start reading, and then that's of course like one of the origins of storytelling, no, like literature. So I think, of course, that it might come from that.
Yes. So because right now there's so many platforms all around, and then especially for our children, we really do not. I feel it takes away their own imagination. It does not allow them to imagine. And when I look at people like you who have been more than now 20 years, there has to be some kind of foundation or root where of imagination that was allowed and nurtured and to thrive. Am I correct to say that, or to feel like that? I, as a parent, I do feel that I was very also strict with my daughter, that not to have too much of gadgets around, and it's okay, in fact, for her to be bored. There's no such thing. In the boredom, you really need to be creative. So I felt like that. How about you? You also?
Yeah, I think it's like a lot to do with that. Now, even like as an adult, I feel sometimes it's like I'm so overstimulated. You know? There's so many things that is around, so many, like so much media, so much like different ways of media, also phone, then there's books, magazines, like TV. It's like it can be a little bit like overwhelming, I think. And I think growing up at that time, but I feel that my experience is not so unique, because there was no social media at that time. There was not much TV anyway. So I feel like our generation might have gone through that, you know, in a more intense way, this boredom, this important boredom that helps us form our own sense of self and a sense of where we are going or what we're doing. So yeah, definitely. And I feel that now I wouldn't know how I would, you know, if I was like young in this day and age, I don't know if I would pursue the same, you know, like same path that I took, because it's so confusing, I feel, for like a young person now. It's so much, you know, coming their way, like how to latch onto a passion and just take that,
be focused,
like have this horse blinders and just do that, you know. So that's what I think is a little scary now. But of course, not being young, maybe there are tools that they have themselves, the youth, to move forward. But I don't know how I would do it at this age.
So when it really comes to your own profession, how have you been? Has it been a fulfilling journey?
Yeah, I think, I mean, I have no regrets. I think the only regret I have, not regret really, but something I realize like as I get older and thing is, I regret not, how do you say? I regret having those horse blinders in a way, you know, like, because I'm so focused on filmmaking or, you know, producing something or being involved in production that reached this age and I'm older mother and I realized like I have no other interests. You know, nothing is really like catching, like my heart has been too much in film that now it's like a little frightening that I have no other thing to
Why
you know,
does it frighten you though?
frighten me because I can't keep doing film. It's unhealthy also. The process production is like is really intense and I have the tendency to also go a little too deep. You know, like staying up late, editing, because I'm involved in quite a lot of the
Yes,
aspects.
you're
You know,
very
from
hands-on.
script to
Yes,
editing to later.
we hear that you
Yeah.
are very hands-on, a perfectionist to the level that you
Yeah.
beat yourself.
That's what.
Yes.
So it's not healthy. So that's why I'm a little frightened because it's like if I try to pull back a bit now and don't do film, I feel very empty. Like because there's nothing else that really interests me. You know, like few things here and there. Oh, that's nice, interesting. But there's nothing else that I have this like intense passion for.
But isn't that the cost? Isn't
That's
that
the cost. But
you
I
know?
wish I
Isn't
had
that the
allowed a
cost?
few small things to, you know, like slip in my younger days. You know, like I remember I always tell the story. Like I remember once we were like always working on film, like a few friends and I, when I was younger, when I was like maybe late 20s. And then like it was like day and night film. No? You wake up, you work on something. Even if it was not a big production, we were just doing short films. It was like our air. No? And then I remember once a friend who was working in film with us, every day he was like with us, and he just mentioned he's going jogging. You know, the next day he's going to go start jogging and he's going to go to the track. And I was so thinking like, what? How can you do jogging? Like, we're doing film, you know, so that was a very unhealthy attitude I had, you know, like
Everything should be about this.
Yeah, this thing, like how can he's not so serious about film, you know, like that he's going jogging. So this is actually like, I don't know, it's hard to find the balance because I find these days also people maybe have too many passions, so that's why they never pursue one like too intensely. But at the same time, pursuing one too intensely my way is also not healthy, and it's in the long run you're left with.
No, in the long run, when we look out
that.
from this one, you have a family, you know, you're raising a child, but it's not like a smooth go.
No,
yes, of course,
not,
but
yeah.
at the same time, you've been able to dance it quite well.
But it's been like film or family, family. It's nothing else. So it's been it's good. I mean, I think also it's like a blessing to have this passion and this craft. Like to be continuing to be able to do this craft and to improve my craft. If I can call it a craft, I think that's such a blessing to have that, to have this joy in a craft, no?
Yes.
And I feel like if I didn't have that, also my life would just be like
blah.
Yeah, I don't know how like I would find meaning in anything, you know. So I feel all this.
You feel alive.
Yeah, I feel so blessed that I have this passion and that I have been able to pursue this passion and to continue doing it.
No,
you know,
Dechen,
at
this
point.
is where I really diving into your own experience is also because for a lot of our viewers in the future or this talk series, Life as Art talk series, was really an aspiration of Ajay Karma for the sake of future, for future generation. Not really about a great number of viewership or anything, but it's also about we're trying to get at you know, a lot of people always say very in a cliche way, follow your passion.
Yeah,
Okay,
of
but
course.
follow your passion, then you don't have what it means to act on those passion
Yeah.
and to be dedicated, devoted, and disciplined in a passion. Passion, it is everything is always fleeting, no?
Yeah.
So to first of all to recognize that you have a passion, and then what are you going to do with that passion? That is where but it comes at a cost.
Yeah.
So it does come at a cost, but it is worth it, right?
Yes, definitely. I mean, can't imagine my life without film, like without working in film. And I think it's definitely worth it in the sense also that it is my, when I was younger, it was just like, oh, pure, I'd love to work in film and this. But over the 20 years, I've made it my career in the sense that it is how I make an income also, and that is also, I feel like, so worth it that I can, work in something that I can also sustain myself with.
So, but it never came to you that it is to make a livelihood, right?
No, I mean, but it was
when you
always,
pursued.
when I pursued it, it was always like I would love to do film, but always with that thing of I would love to do film and to make that the way I can live. Because I felt it would be so sad if I would continue to love to do film, but couldn't pursue it because it was not, making money, or it was not, it was no longer feasible in that. It was not financially viable. So I think that was also lucky for me to be in Bhutan that time, because it wasn't, that time when I first started, I really just had like a small handycam, and there was not many people doing film outside of, like, there was PBS TV, and then there was the big feature films. But I started doing with small projects, documentaries and all. That time there was not many people in Bhutan. Now there's so many, that's great. But that time there was very few who were not part of one of those two things. So I used to get a lot of jobs, like just, because I was doing it. And so that was, again, I feel like really lucky. I was really lucky. Right place, right time, in Bhutan, just starting to open up.
No, I'll just jump in here. I've been speaking, yes, with, people who are like this. They really attribute it to luck.
Yeah, it is.
I get amazed because the ones who are really doers, they attribute it to luck, but they don't realize at that point also they took a risk. It didn't really matter, to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
To be the first ones.
No,
and then this is where I wanted to.
It's not like at that age, it was not really a risk in the sense, like I was still living with my parents. It's not like I had to, honestly, I didn't have to think about rent, but I had to think about job, like, okay, now I can't live with my parents. Thing my whole life. So it was not, I don't think it was a big risk, and that's why I still say it was luck, like right place, right time. Like now, if I was a young person and wanted to get into film, I think the environment is much more difficult now. There's so many more people who are working in film. There's so much more access to good equipment. So I was so lucky that time, because I didn't actually have even a professional camera. I had those handy cams, that people used to shoot home videos with. And with that, I was getting jobs to do projects, documentaries, commission projects. So that was really lucky, I think, like I feel that I have had good luck, and I think of course the risk and the hard work comes in later. You know, that to get that lucky, to get these opportunities that time, that was there, but to consistently keep at it, despite the changing environment,
Landscapes,
changing landscapes, that I would attribute more to that. Then is where I think the hard work and the really consistently staying on it comes in. But that time I would say it's a lot is luck.
That's like really gracious of you. But I guess because of that kind of positive attitude and also feeling that kind of everything in your life is a blessing, and then being able to take it up and then pursuing your craft and your passion with hard work and diligence, I think that speaks a lot. And you may take it away from you, but I'm not going to take it. We're going to really, really admirable being able to do this. Now, I'll really like you to talk about your creative process when you make a film and what it takes for you. What are you observing? And at the end of the day, I'm sure it is. Let me not put words in your mouth. Let me just hear it from you. Yes.
So creative process to make a film. I mean, like to make my own films, like not talking about all the commission stuff I do and all, is really has to be like it really has to be somehow strong. The essence, the first inspiration. Because if that's not there for me, I can't take it forward. So I can't be just thinking, oh, I think I'll make a film and what should I make it about? It's usually the other way, like something like you mentioned, observation or something. I notice something or some kind of idea grows in my head, and then that sort of brews more, and then I think, oh, this has to be a film. Then I try to take it forward with developing the script, and then trying to see how to make it, and then the boring part comes of raising the funds and all. But the initial part is the most important for me, and if that's not there, I can't.
So sometimes so you agree. So you will be in a point where to take inspiration, you're actually in a daily life of interaction, or that wherever you are.
Yes.
Your senses are open, basically, right?
That's like the most important thing, I think. You mentioned being alive, and I think that is what is our most important asset as a creator, as an artist, is this thing that we get to be alive and to observe, to hear, to see, to feel. This is what will later be the inspirations of my work, and that's been like that for the past 3 fiction films I've made. It's always been like that. Something I
so your first film, if you could, because for you to be inspired, it's not like you're saying, it's just not about okay, I need an inspiration. It's like you are going there, talking with somebody in this one or in an environment, and something. And there's a built-up of what you've been thinking, but then something happens to you, or it doesn't happen, it happens to somebody else, then you felt deeply about it. So if from your 3 fiction films, just one of them that's really made you feel that, oh, I felt it, and I want to bring it out.
I think it's okay. So, but sorry, just to go back. I've made 5 fiction. No, but I'm the one who said 3. But I was thinking like short films. I forgot about my first short films. So the inspiration is not like you said, like exactly like you said. It's not that I'm looking for it. It's not like, oh, I need to go be inspired. Let me go and see if I can find ideas. It just comes sometimes at unexpected times, unexpected encounters, or even observations. And also, I think it's not like it'll start with one idea, inspired from one thing, but then when I'm developing the script or the story idea, then there's other ideas and
your other life experiences also just
that
like
come
coming
in,
through is
like just hearing like dialogue from here, meet, like you said, characters, like sometimes I base even dialogues on something I've heard, or even like a person I know, how they talk. So it's like the world is actually our inspiration for everything, when it comes to dialogue, when it comes to reference for this, when it comes to even small things that don't necessarily impress anyone, but I think the key is to just have observation. To just be open and curious to what's.
And doesn't that mean
around
being
you.
alive? I
Yes,
really
yes,
feel
that's
so.
what I
Just
think.
now, when that's why artists and all may look sometimes very either very quiet or either very to be a creative person or to be alive, is somebody who is really just soaking it in, no?
Yeah.
And then it's almost like you're a CPU and you're just soaking it in and soaking, and suddenly this whole thing can come together, no? Bits and pieces of your observation and expressions, no? And you're putting it.
Very important. And curiosity, I think. Sometimes curiosity is also painful, because like I'm so curious sometimes. I think I get that from my mother more, like always asking questions. Why is this like this? Who's this person? Like the stories behind people. So that, I think, is also really important for my process. This curiosity of a story behind something, or this. So even a small thing, I was just thinking like what you're saying, when observation, like just walking on the street, and recently like this woman rushed past me holding incense and matches and some other like how do you say, ritualistic item. Where I couldn't see properly what it was, but she was like running. And in my mind I was thinking, why is she rushing? What could be, like a thing? And then by the time I reached home, I had already like this story, like beginning with her rushing past, and then she goes to the house, and then I had already created in my head like maybe the story behind why this woman's running with the incense stick in her hand.
Wow.
So it's just like so much to have curiosity. I think that's also a blessing, like to start to imagine stories and stories behind every small thing. Why is this? What could they be rushing for? Even like when I'm driving in the car, like long distance, every car I pass, I'm thinking like, what's their story? Where are they going? Why are they traveling? Like,
have you felt like that? When I've felt like whenever I'm not when I'm flying over any big cities.
Like and all down there, all the many stories that are going on, no?
I know, in that it's like pigeonholes, no? And what are we doing as human beings in every apartment that is there, that small.
There's a drama in each place, no?
No. And but because creative persons like that, and you, I don't know whether you feel when we become open and being sensitive, our senses are so heightened, like an antenna. Then you soak it in. As much as it is a blessing, do you also feel that your body starts, not only your body, your mind, it gets very exhausting? Like it's like,
it gets a little bit.
It drains you out?
It gets exhausting. Sometimes it is. I think that's also something I have an inability to sort of block out everything. No, like I'm trying
so
now
what do you
in
do?
my own.
So
no,
that's what
I don't even know how to. I don't know how to meditate also.
So that's what you're saying. It's, you feel it's unhealthy.
Yes, that's why it's unhealthy for me, because I can't take that space and time required to somehow. Because it can't be like this for somebody. I think physically, like you mentioned, is not healthy. This constant rush, adrenaline, this constant thing.
Stimulation.
This constant stimulation, like
and to
feel,
always feeling, no?
And pursue this, pursue that. Oh, I think this is a good. To have so many ideas is not healthy. So I think that it is important to find a balance. but I can't speak from experience because I haven't found that balance, you know.
You've
Like,
never even looked at...
I'm trying, like, always say, okay, maybe I should start meditation now. I should start the yoga. I should do something beyond film. So I'm trying, but not yet.
Because
gotten there.
yes, when we even look at great artists, musicians, everything, they really break themselves, no?
Yeah, yeah.
And we want them to sustain. But it's such a paradoxical thing to say, to bring out your best versions and then again pull them down. Yeah, take a break. And my daughter was talking about this movie, I must watch Whiplash, and where I believe the mentor really pushes
them,
the
yeah,
musician.
it's quite severe, yeah.
Yeah, but then your best version comes out there, and we're talking about human beings being at the best version at your pain and suffering.
Yes, that's the irony, I guess, of creation, of being a thing, no, creative.
But I was also listening to a jazz musician, and he's actually a Buddhist. I forget his name, but I was listening to his podcast, and he mentions about how actually you have this process to be able to bring out where not just the pain and suffering is a creative process, that is one, but even joy. Through joy and through a deeper kind of introspection and just being, you actually can bring out, that is another process where you can bring out the best versions of your creativity.
Yeah, I think
I really want you to sustain, and I don't want you to break. So I hope
and I think I won't say like it's been pain and suffering. It's been the opposite. I think it's been mostly joy. It's just like physically,
body.
Physically, I start to feel it, and I just need to find the balance or the space where I can be still involved in film, but also not take it so like don't let it consume me.
Yeah,
I think
consuming.
That's where I
yes,
have to find the right space. And I think I am always grateful also that I had a child, because I think also she came at the right time. You know, like I was so intensely in work, and it was getting like super unhealthy, working so much, sleeping a little bit, and that's the only thing I wanted to do. I was not even meeting people. Like, everything was done, and it was just work, and which was actually really stressful on my body. And then when I was pregnant, I had to obviously slow down. So I think that was such a good like speed bump to my career and work, because that was like the first time I was forced to, okay, slow down. You can't now physically. You're gonna have to, you're gonna have a child. You have to take care. So even till today now, I'm always grateful that I have that sort of obligation. I mean, it's a joyful obligation, because sometimes it's like, okay, I have so much work, this, but then suddenly it's like, okay, now I need to make dinner. You know, like the basic things of taking care of somebody is there in my life, and I feel that's a very healthy thing. Like, I can't just always do work, because now I have to do like things as a mother, and this is actually a beautiful. It's been the only way I found some balance, like by having this responsibility as like a mother, to set time aside, energy aside for family.
So would it have been, it's a bit personal, but like, would it have been, would you have achieved a lot if you were not in this field, if you were not a mother, but just very focused only on filmmaking? Would you have done it more, or?
I don't know. I think because becoming a mother was in between my two films. So I think, again, I was lucky in that sense that I made my first feature film, which is always, in a way, the toughest. you know, as an aspiring filmmaker, I think it's the toughest to make your first feature. So I had made my first feature, and then I had Cece, had my daughter. So again, lucky timing worked, because I think I can say that since I had already made my film and I had the child after, I was able to continue and get back into it. But I have heard like some thing about sometimes about women the young women who would like to make films, but then they became a mother and they never quite got back into it, because they had never made their first film before, so they never could get to that point again. So again, I was lucky. I think I made my first feature, so I was over that mountain. Then had a child, so I was already I could already fall back on that film experience and the film's how do you say, the film's journey to make my next one. So I don't think. I think, in a way, I think it's made me a better filmmaker and more healthier filmmaker.
So she did come at the right time, in fact, and then you could still, in fact, you do acknowledge her presence in your life as being really helping you even in your
it's really like a positive, you know, like a positive influence, and ground exactly you, no? That it's like the anchor that I needed, because I think if I had just been like working in film and all, I don't know, I might have had a breakdown or something, but she's been that anchor that made me ground me, and then I can still continue.
And how much of your role, your husband's role, and you know, he's also an artist. We know him. He's our the co-founding member of Vas Bhutan, and both of you being very creative people. Has there been more tensions, or it's been the support and growth?
Of course, support and growth. I think. I mean, it has to be because he's an artist and we have similar.
Alignments
also with our work process, and with our, I guess, worldview in the sense of how we see reality, how we see like how things should be, how we see the world, and then bringing up a child together. I think, and then both trying to pursue our own crafts. I think it's been a big support that he's, you know, he's been a very big support to my. Filmmaking. I hope I've been supportive to his art.
Oh yes, he gives that a lot to you.
I don't think it could have been so easy to make my second film after I had my daughter if he had not been there as supportive as he was.
Really, I think for creative people, and who are especially not really pursuing to make profit out of it, it does become very challenging for especially partners if they don't have the same worldview, no? Like the same kind of viewpoint towards what life really is, you know?
Yeah, I think that's been really important. So we're broke together, we're like somehow like suddenly landed into money together, and we both understand that, and we're sort of in it together. That
moral support, that emotional feeling, you can relate.
And we understand it, like it's normal, you know, life that you don't always have big funds coming in.
We will pull through this.
We'll help each other. Like
wonderful.
One time it'll be me, one time it'll be him for a few months, like depending on what we're working on.
Otherwise it becomes very lopsided, especially when you have relationship, right? When somebody is really wanting to pursue their passion, and then it's because these things, when you're not in the same alignment, then generally people think, what are these people doing? Useless thing, you know? What is this useless thing? It doesn't even bring bread on the table. And and that's great. And the two of you both, it's always been like, Tintin's always also said that he's grown a lot because of your support. And I think today two of you will have a very romantic time because of this. Yeah, we do. Yeah, I think our partners become so important in our growth as well. No,
Yeah.
I'm sure we can do things when we are alone also, but nothing fantastic if with all the fights and arguments also. But the larger
Yeah.
viewpoint of life, if it is
Yeah.
same,
Joined,
no,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
similar. So when I wanted to ask you, of course, it was a blessing for you to get all those commission works, and but you broke very few, not only you, but just few of you started the alternative cinema, not the real, not the mainstream kind of cinema, but without knowing that, already Bhutan doesn't have an audience for that, and that was
Yeah.
very bold and courageous of this lot, you know.
I think it was also, I also look back at that time and think we were like, again, very lucky that we didn't have all this, how do you say, like history of cinema, you know, where that we didn't have established infrastructures for cinema, like established audiences, so we were starting off like completely
on a clean slate.
Yeah, on a clean slate. And now when we think of like, oh, I want to make a short thing, we start thinking of all these other pressures, like, oh, we need this kind of camera, we need this kind of sound, who's free, who can we pay, you know, like that. That time we didn't think anything. We would just pick up like whatever camera was available, and it was not these high-end cameras. And crew also we didn't have, you know, like it was just like one of us would shoot, the other person would hold the boom, and then would just ask like friends or people to act, you know. So we didn't have all that pressure of like how you're supposed to make a film, like you're supposed to have a budget, you're supposed to have like hired cast and crew, you know, like how it's entered more formally now, which is also a good thing for industry. So we were lucky that time that was completely not there. We'd just be like, let's make this short film, you know, like, okay, are you free tomorrow? Okay, let's meet tomorrow this time. We'll just take our car. So even all my 3 short films that I made, it was like that only. Like the very first short film I made was about Aja's there also in the short film. So I'm always happy. It was just like this girl who was also from VAST. I had seen her thing. I had a story idea. Then I was in VAST, and she was just a high school girl. So I asked her to act also, and then she was still in school. So for like a week, every day after her school, we'd pick her up from school. And by we, I just mean like, again, myself, my husband, Tintin, and one other person, either like a friend, like TG, or my brother. That was it. That was just 3 of us in the car. Pick up this girl, take her somewhere, make her act. I'll shoot on my thing again, and we'll just do it. Now people would laugh at us like, oh, they think they're making a film, you know, because now there's so much more. There's been so much growth in our film industry.
But what is growth there when you could do a film like that, and it was accepted? It also you submitted it to
it was in a few film festivals.
So is it because people start standardizing things that innocence is lost? That why do we have to make it so complicated now?
I think we were lucky that we still had that. Now I feel that's why I always tell young people. You know, because they'll say, oh, ma'am, I have this idea. I would love to make this film. Can you read the script? And I'm looking for funding. And I'll say, why you have to do all this? You know, like, you don't need to look for funding. Just unless it's some big period thing. I'm saying, find a friend who can act. Ask a friend to borrow the camera and find funding for fuel and food.
The food, basically.
And
hang out. And just do it.
Don't get pressured with this and saying waiting for funding, this, that. So I'm always saying that because we had that time. So, and it was a beautiful thing. And I think,
that innocence and being able to create.
And just do. And that's why we started the film festival.
I wanted to get to that.
Yeah, because we really felt
the best
like, for 2 reasons that, first of all, we were making these things that were not being, there was nowhere to show them, but also that making short films really helps you as a filmmaker to grow.
Yes.
You know, like since we don't have a film school,
it gives you a hands-on experiences, you're trying out.
Yeah, and since we don't have film school here, it's like the best way to learn. So we felt like we really had to promote that, that process, like that more Bhutanese should be making short films, even if it's not ever going to be seen by somebody or it's not going to audience, it's not going to make money. At least like set yourself to that, like you don't have to pay for film school. I mean, we don't have film school anyway. If we had, we would have to pay for it. But it's the same, like making a film is even easier, cheaper, and more closer to your heart.
Yeah.
So that's why we started this Beskop Situ,
Yeah.
which is the film festival, which is shorts and documentaries. And it's also nice to say it here because the first thing we did, first edition we did was this very underground edition, and for one night in Vast.
Yes.
That time Vast was in the clock tower. So it was such a, again, like a beautiful experience, I think, and so, like even Aja was so happy. I remember
Aja was so
he went
proud of
in
you
front
guys,
of the audience, and he just said, we asked him like, Aja, please make a speech. It's our first Beskop Situ. And he just went and then he just said, this is a dream come true. And he sat down, and that was so nice. I felt it was, because it's something he always wanted, like, I think, to have this thing of, seeing a synthesis of arts. Like, it's not only just art, but it's just like all forms of art
coming
together and moving forward. So we've tried to push that film festival.
How many editions?
We've done 5.
5, no?
Yeah, 5.
The last year one was?
The 5th one, and then we are planning on this year, 6th edition. So
you trying?
It's never been regular.
Yeah.
It's always like
doesn't have
first time we did it, of course, no funding, but we didn't need also because it was just one night, and we did it in Vast, and we just showed some films and invited people. The previous times we had funding, but it was all from different sources. So sometimes it was government, sometimes it was NGO.
Because it's growing the more.
Yeah.
And there's this
and
one.
also
it's just that, and it's all such voluntary and coming from the heart initiative, well-meaning. You've gone through that same. You do not even say it as a struggle when you started making your short film.
Yeah.
But why does it have to be so complicated? This is where but that's where I think the perspective of creative people really should not be of. We do want to express. You do want to create and put it out there, but at the end of the day, it has to be. It should not be. It should not be trying to please anybody.
Yeah.
So because as soon as you put trying to please somebody or trying to get validation or also thinking about profit, whether it will make, then I think everything gets screwed up then. So
because it should, I mean, I think along the way as I started making more and more films, these things do become more important. No money, we have to make money with
the bigger
films.
ones. Then
and the validation part is like a very complex thing. I have
I know.
I tried to say I don't care about it, but of course that's complex. A big part about making films. You want people to like it. You want it to
people to come
resonate.
and watch.
You want that validation. So it's a very complex, emotional thing. Like you think you don't want it, but of course you do. But the purity, I feel that
in the beginning,
I had before, like a few of us had before. Even that purity, I don't think I can capture again. I feel I miss that. Like, I wish I was like that. Because even now, if I think, I want to make a short film, these things all come into my mind. Will I get a little funding? Like, I'm even telling people not to care about that, but actually
because you want to meet expectations, and it gets higher and higher.
Yeah. So before, when we were just doing it, it was like so liberating. And that's what I feel that young people who want to make films, they have that one tool that we can't take. They have that one trump card. They have the they can be as carefree and thing as they want because later, as they start growing in the field, there will be expectations. They won't have that.
There'll be standards to meet,
and they won't have that sort of freedom to just do whatever they want, I mean, we all have it, but we don't feel it anymore as strongly.
You have to conform to the others' standards and measurements, and you'll have to fit in because it's not only just about as you grow, then you have collaboration.
Yeah, and then you have all these other pressures, like
then funding
with
agencies,
funding, and like with
expectations,
film,
more.
it's like we're obviously making film with funds that have been coming in from other sources. So there's that pressure that we do have to. We can't just say, "Oh, we don't care if we don't make money." We have to actually keep that in our
because
mind.
somebody has invested.
Yeah. So, and to continue being a filmmaker, that's the only way we can go forward, is to find that balance. Like, if I just had, if I didn't care about making my next film, like then with the current one, I could do whatever I want, because be like, yeah, even if it doesn't do well market-wise, even if no money comes in, it doesn't matter. I'm never making another film in my life. But because I want this to be my lifelong career, I have to keep that in mind. Like, what will I can't destroy my future opportunities.
Yes,
So I
because
have
you
to
want
find
to.
that balance. Like,
I think you can have a spur of a moment or become a one-time wonder, but I think what really, if you want to make an impact in not only your life but a lot, it's about long-term sustainability and to be able to navigate different kind of skills, not just, and I think that's what is life, and to be creative in not in a very conventional sense, just creative in your craft as well, but also be creative in your life relationships, your producers, your investors, the people, cast, crew, tech. So many things come in place more. Your audience also more.
Juggle many.
Yeah. So that navigation, I think you're doing wonderful with all the ups and downs. Dechen, just for as important, this Life as Art Talk series is also meant to bring people to get a glimpse of lives of people who've been so consistent, passionate, and in action. So we are glad that we got you.
Thank you for having me here.
And so that there won't be somebody. We're just hoping that one day a young girl is looking for an inspiration, and then wanting to know there was a filmmaker, and it started from there. A woman, long time. So this documentation is important for that sake.
Thank you.
And because it's going to be there in cyberspace, and we hope that it'll be there. Nothing is permanent, but whatever effort that we're making to bring it out there, somewhere to touch and connect, whether today or tomorrow
or 50 years from now,
or who knows. I want you to, because I gather that when you find it a blessing, that when you started it off, it was raw, it was pure, you didn't feel as difficult actually, but now it is getting, there's a lot more expectation, standards. Even you as a filmmaker, what would you like to say to people who are pursuing this, their passion, and how do you, not your exact formula, I don't think so that you had a formula.
There can be a formula.
Yeah, I don't think so there is a formula to it. But what is it deep inside that you'd like to just convey to the people pursuing their passion?
Yeah, I mean, I think it will just be very simple, that it's just that passion can be strong, but it also needs commitment. You have to commit to your passion, and you have to also make that decision. I think that's really important. It's actually a huge relationship you're entering. Like when you're pursuing your passion, it's actually like this commitment to a relationship, to something. And I think that's also, sometimes I didn't think I thought of that so much, but because like one thing to have the passion, but to actually commit to it and say like, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and if you're committed to it, it can, I mean, you will have to find ways. You know how, like, even in a marriage, they say, come sickness, come, you know, that Western thing, come illness, come thing, you'll be by the side of this person. It's like a similar thing. Like, if you commit to this passion you have, like for film, then if you really have, really want to commit to it, you have to stick by it, even in the not so easy times. Yeah. And I think that would be like I don't think I can give advice, because I don't think I necessarily took the best journey to it. And in some ways it's easier these days, you know, like I feel like in some ways it's easier, you know, like I had passion to make films since I was, you know, 20 years ago, but I didn't make my first film, feature film, until like I was working in the field for about 15 years. So these days it's almost easier. I see people like in Bhutan overnight deciding that they want to make a film, and they do it. And there's actually something beautiful about that also. So I feel like there's not one advice to go about it, because you can either do that, you know, try to improve your craft for 10, 15 years and then make a film, or you can overnight, if you get the opportunity, also make a film. I feel there's no right or wrong path.
But
So
it's also not only just about the end result of making a film, but how much more as an artist yourself, it is important to be true to yourself. You know?
Yeah, and that's the other thing I was going to say as a filmmaker.
I want to paint, okay, because this painting sells. Somebody likes it, okay, I'll paint it, and then you get the techniques right, and then you
but
can
that
put this
cannot be so happy anymore, a happy journey, if it's purely for that. And I think that's what I was going to say. Is the second thing is, like, in the end, it's always try to be authentic in your passion, not in the sense of like only telling stories that you know yourself, like that you've experienced, because I don't think that's necessarily any prerequisite for filmmaking. Like that some filmmakers say that, I've read outside, only tell a story that you know, like yourself. But I don't think that's the case. It's like only pursue the passion in the most authentic way you can, you know, in the way that your passions, like to make films, should always be the most authentic, not exactly like how you said, not for money or fame. That should not be the guiding principle, but the passion should be the guiding principle, the interest, the joy in it, and then hopefully money and fame will be a part of it, but that shouldn't be the end goal, you know, because then your work will show, you know, it will show that it's not through if that is the end goal, then that will start to see it come through in your work.
Yes,
that,
you can hide it much longer under the carpet.
Yes. So there's just to always keep that as pure as you can. Of course, it's hard because, like I said, we always have to think of those things. We have to think of how we can sustain ourselves with this, but
work from the premise,
that be
the core
main
premise, and then other things you have to work it around.
Yes.
But your core premise has to be authenticity, being true to yourself. That's beautiful. That's
growing in my mind, and now in my vision, I'm already starting to see things. So it's, like I said, blessing or a curse, I don't know, but it carries on, and I'm like very grateful for that, actually.
Yes, even if you're physically, I hope, my aspiration is that people like you, you know, Dechen, your creativity, your passion will keep on burning, and you'll keep on, and we get to see this. We get to see and relate to to connect, basically, you know, to someone or the other. Maybe not the entire, but the human quest to feel connected more.
Yes, I think that's important. I hope my work and yeah, the films I make, they resonate, with on some level. That's like my main goal, I guess, that, okay, there can be some points of resonance, I hope, now or in the future or somewhere along the line.
That definitely will be there, because I do not see it in any time putting a shutdown with the fire that you have in you. And Kadinche, Dechen Roder, for blazing that, being a trailblazer, and good wishes.
Thank you.
In your future endeavors. We
Thank
hope to
you.
see more of it.